All right, I know that. It started in March of 1962. The newsroom had just 5 employees. Some of their work is stored in our building downstairs, and that's where Dan Tilken is to walk us through all the changes that we've gone through the years. Dan?
Oh, this dark and dank basement. It does smell down here. This holds years and years of film footage. Now, film is so far in the past, we have to open up this vault here. And this is where we keep the last film editing bay. It's not even functional, but you can kind of get the idea what they used to have to do. Check this out. I mean, this is real history right here. This right here says JFK. It says Oswald shooting, Capitol, John F. Kennedy funeral. We have real history right here. We have Oswald shot in slow-mo. Big difference between this and this. This is what we record on now. This is a digital card, and this can record video, and then we put it in and we edit it digitally. So much has changed between now and then.
Oh, Lord of wonder.
This melancholy invocation began K2's history.
Creator.
But then we unleashed fireworks.
Stand by for K2.
And a curious sight was beamed over the analog airwaves. The Dancing Girls routine went on, just tapping and music, 5 times longer than a news story today. People back then had a longer attention span.
Good evening. I'm Tom Morgan. Welcome to KATU TV, the new view, Oregon's independent station.
The first weatherman was Kirby Brumfeld. The first news director was almost a man who became governor.
Most people do not know that Tom McCall was offered the job of heading Channel 2's first news department. He declined.
The station's first big story was the deadly Columbus Day storm.
As I recall, it was several days before the Channel 2 got back on the air. And most of our audience, a lot of our audience was still not on the air to receive a signal.
In these first years, President Kennedy was assassinated. The Forestry Center in Portland burned to the ground, and Christmas floods ravaged the state. Robert Kennedy walked in the Oregon surf just before he headed to California, where he was assassinated. But there was the exploding whale and baby elephants born. K2 went from black and white to color in 1967. And that's the very same day Steve Muller began working here. Now he's training for a new high-definition system, but the biggest change he's seen is the ability to go live.
We had one camera, our first live video camera, and talk about exciting, you know, where everybody was crowding around the booth to see that first live picture come up.
K2 used live technology for the raising of the Fremont Bridge and, of course, the eruption of Mount St. Helens. Over the decades, there was the development of a truly portable camera and shot on reusable videotape. Now everything has gone digital inside our building that used to house a laundry. Speaking of history, my very first day at K2 was October 20th, 1997. And that's sort of significant because that is the very same day that we did this. We launched 2 helicopters. Remember that? The power of 2? They didn't know what to do with me, so I actually sat at my desk for a week, and I did nothing. Back to you.
Now you're doing a lot, Dan.
Trying to.
Nothing's changed.
Oh, Steve, that's not true. Thank you for the history lesson, Dan Tilken. For more information about the DTV transition, just head to our website at KATU.com. We have a section at the top of our homepage. You can watch video tutorials, learn how to rescan your channels, and so much more.